maybe they think it's a coincidence, but it wasn't a coincidence. It was some good days, some bad days when I was young. So maybe we'll start off by setting a few bullet points that we usually run through, that we usually do. For example, one of them would always be telling each other the family goals. So my mom's business, as soon as she started, any small feat, any small goal, any small accomplishment was public. So she would tell us, okay, what are we doing this week? She would want to recruit XYZ amount of people, 3 people. So she would run through that. What are you going to do in school? What are you going to do at the house? This is at the very beginning of the base level. So you can apply this to anything that you're doing. If the kid is in college, making a time, a specific time. So for example, my mom would, every kid, regardless of their age, every person feels that their plans are the most important, and they are to each person. So maybe setting a structure. My mom's very consistent, and she works with systems. So from the very beginning, she doesn't take control of your time, but she would say, hey, I need this done. So she would always, I always say this is a smart way. You're already, as a parent or you're already going to buy your kids something. So now I, in retrospect, I see what my mom was doing, and it was genius. So what she would make me do was help her an hour a day, 2 hours a day, and she'd pay me $5 an hour. And remember, ladies, that everything in this world revolves with money. Even if it's your children, you can buy their attention for an hour or two for $10. It's pretty cheap, And so that little incentive right there as a kid, for $5, you're the richest kid in the block. You're the one who's buying the ice creams. So those little things, those little victories, the little kids could start already getting a reward for their small 1 hour, 2 hour licking stamps, literally, and putting them on your packages, or signing in, printing labels and putting them on. So those systems and consistency are basically what led to me as a son respecting the business and not seeing the business as mom's business or Mary Kay. I would see it as a family business because after school, I would come and I would get paid $5 an hour to open the boxes and put all the products in a row,
But you know what the thing is, you know why I did that? Because he wants something, and I said, okay, if I pay, and they tell me, when he wants something, and he has some money that I already paid, I just complete. I use my same money, and he worked for it.
Right, it's genius. So basically, it's phenomenal. I'm gonna apply that when I have children. I would need some shoes. The mom's gonna buy the shoes regardless for the son, but she would make me, collect the $5, $10, $15, $20 for helping her. And then I'd say, hey, Mom, let's go to the store. Hey, I like this. And she's like, well, how much money do you have? Oh, I've got $25 for the weekend.
Okay.
From the week, she's like, okay, well, if you give me those 25, I'll put the extra 50 or whatever it is, and I'll buy you the shoes, for $75. So what has happened there? Now I've got these shoes where I'm invested $25 in these things, the whole week's worth amount of work. And now I'm taking care of these shoes because I don't want them to get scuffed, and because now I feel the honor and the privilege of my little work in the shoe. When before, maybe if she would have just bought it, okay, I would have not taken that into consideration, and maybe I wouldn't have given those shoes that much appreciation. And just the muscle memory of work reward is something that sounds very basic, but it's something that we overshadow very quickly. And I feel that leads me to the second point of that is, it's a blessing and a curse, because if you ladies don't share your goals with your family, and that's easier for you because then you don't get called out when you don't reach your goal. So you kind of stay in the background and be like, oh yeah, everything's great, you're in your meeting, no one really knows what you're doing in your family. Your kids are kind of, I guess it's good, my mom looks happy, but in reality, you're not getting any awards. So that, you're being held accountable to yourself. So in this situation, when your mom says, hey, I remember her sitting down saying, we want to win a car, because our first car when we came to this country, we were living in my aunt's garage. We had like a 2-story house, and it was almost like a movie. I was telling my mom one of these days we should make it's totally a soap opera, because we had it all in Mexico, and then my grandfather, unfortunately, and my family passed through this crazy tragedy of crazy crimes that happened, and we had to leave, and we come here and you expect to live a certain lifestyle, even as a kid, you get used to a good lifestyle real quick. It's hard to go the other way, you know. So when we came here, we lived in the garage of my aunt's house, and I still remember this day. My mom wasn't there for long. We were there, but she's always been this go-getter mentality. So she would told me, we want to win this car because the car that we used to have was this really beat up car that we put $40 for all four tires. When my mom came, she bought it off my uncle, and it was sitting on post. And that car, my mom would fill up these water tanks, water jugs, and she'd pull like 4 water jugs, her product, the water jug, and her kids, me. And we would go, and on Saturday mornings, we would have I always have this big love and admiration for the gold zipper bag that Mary Kay has. That one. But in when you're an original in this game, it was a gold color, and I always remember it had a little flap in the middle to divide your bills of the money that was yours to the money that you're getting, and the bill and the profiles. So I used to know on Saturday mornings we'd go in this little beater car, and my mom would travel and try to take the roads that didn't have hills because the car wouldn't make it up. So she'd find her way around, not to go up too fast. And we live in California, luckily, so we're kind of flat here. So she didn't. So we'd go she would tell us, we're working because this is going to bring us X, Y, Z. So that's maybe another point that I can share with you, ladies, is that not dangling the food in front of your kids, but letting them know consciously where it is that their benefits are coming from in a nice, positive way. Not like, that food you're eating is because of our hard work. Not that brazen, but it is a reminder when you're enjoying certain things of why it is that we have certain things. Because I remember when she would tell us, we're going to win this car, and that car is going to stop us from suffering, because the car would work for a couple hours, and then it started smoking, and my mom would run out, and in order of importance, luckily, she'd bring her kid out first. And so, so she'd bring out her kid first when the car started smoking, and then she'd bring out her product, and then at the end, she'd bring out her water jug to open up the front, pour it in, and wait till it cooled down. And then, people were driving by, kind of like, what's going on? This is like early 90s. So people were like, is this lady distressed? And she'd be like, no, it's fine, it's fine. We'd wait till it cools down. And then after it cools down for a couple, then she'd kind of hop back in, and we'd go around and travel around. And that's when those little times worked a few times. They were every Saturday. So my mom would be very consistent with it. So I know Saturdays, for example, a lot of kids would watch cartoons. And this is continued. This isn't a few months. So kids would watch cartoons. I wouldn't. I would go and travel all over Los Angeles and try to find these people that owe my mom some money. And and so we would go and try to. So, but these little things are what held us accountable. So my goals in school were held accountable. When I got home, her goals were also held accountable. And if they weren't reached, they were just discussed why they weren't reached. And what's awesome about goals is you can set them again the next day. It's not like it's over. So that was one of the things that I feel that has gotten us to be where we are, but also the fact that she has invested a lot of time and money in people that are in your family sometimes won't see these events. So my mom has always been taking us to events. So at a young age, we go to meetings, and she'd sit us down, and we're already at 13, 14. So maybe at that age, the kids don't want to go with you anymore. That's the kind of, they're old enough to stay at home, but they're not old. So, but my mom wasn't that. She would not let us kind of stay back and just reap the benefits. She was like, no, come with me. And there is, I'm not going to lie to you, that there is some moments where there is some friction, and you don't see why it is important for you to be there. But now in retrospect, I understand why. But in the moment when there was that friction, you're like, well, why? But it's why do I need to be there? This is adult stuff. As a kid, you don't see that the lights are on because you ladies are hardworking. You you don't see that what you're eating is a part of Mary Kay. So that was one thing that that was important for her, was to have seminars. She invests and takes us to seminars. And when you're at seminar, not just being at seminar and being in the hospitality room, and no, it's at seminar, be present, sitting down, paying attention, making that sacrifice to go and actually absorbing it all and taking it. And I see that sometimes a lot of our directors, and I say our directors naturally because I see it as our business. I don't ever see it as my mom's business. So a lot of the times when we're at seminar, I see a lot of older directors. They've been through the process so many times that they're kind of like, oh, I get it. I've seen this. I'm going to leave, or I'm going to go to the bathroom, and I'm going to go talk to my. So it's that's another tip that I can say is at all the events, at all the awards, at all the events we've been, it's be there and be present. So, and also I wrote a little cheat sheet here, but the sketchy neighborhoods that my mom, the sacrifices that you guys would make, depending on where you live, obviously is different obstacles that you guys have. Weather, here in California, we don't have that. Today, we woke up to some clouds and everybody threw on sweaters and things, and we're pretty ridiculous here. It's like 70 and we think it's winter. So I know that, but for her, she had no family here and bad with directions. But those little moral victories are basically now we're reaping the benefits of that. And I kind of wanted to jump into what it is for me as a son to live in this lifestyle, because the trips, I know I'm going to jump quickly, but the trips weren't out of the blue. You would see that at the beginning, my mom would go on these trips and she would travel around the world, and I would come back and see these pictures and I would only read about the places in books. And I was flabbergasted with all the places that she would go. And now it's unbelievable that she's literally going another circles and more circles around the world. And she's repeating these places, but in another experience now. So now I tell her all the time, you have to pinch me, because when we went to Hawaii at the Four Seasons and we went to Argentina, these places are places that my mom had, some of them had experienced before, but now with her son. And it's totally mind-boggling to know that we were, running up and down shoots of apartments trying to find the lady that owed my mom money with the big pink suitcase up, and I would carry it up and down, and the lady wasn't there, and we went up 3 flights of stairs, and now we got to go down, and all these sacrifices that now we reap the benefits by going to these extravagant places in a luxury style that is unparalleled, that even if you were to try and do them yourself, it's impossible because of the connections that Mary Kay has. I'll give you guys some examples of that quickly, but when we were in Monaco, which is, it's like 40% of the people in Monaco are billionaires. So, and these Mary Kay inner circles all look like billionaires. So when they're walking inside we're at the most exclusive hotel in Monaco, where the 007 movie is being filmed, and the Casino Royale is to the right, and you're seeing cars driving up, $1 million cars, $2 million cars. All the guys we're all gawking our tongues down here. The women are like, oh, I like my pink Escalade way better than that car. My mom's like, that car's okay, but my pink Escalade is way better. I'm like, yeah, it is, but so we were talking about these places are places that many people were looking at us, not because of the monetary value, but because of who are these ladies, who are these people who get to enjoy these dinners at these exclusive restaurants. The hotel has a cave, the subterranean winery, and it's only exclusively open to the families of the owner of the hotel. And so because of the connections of Mary Kay, these are the things that I'm saying that aren't, even if you have all the money in the world, you can't have these experiences. Because of the connections that Mary Kay has, they opened up the winery down for private tasting of this like $10,000 bottle of wine, and even the waiter is looking at us like, he asked me, when everybody kind of went off the side, he asked me, he said, hey, just a quick question, who are you then? You know, and then I started thinking to myself, who are we? Who? I'm not sure who we are anymore. I think I'm really getting used to this Monaco lifestyle. I think so, but I never cease to be appreciative, thankful, um, but I also we always remember the little hiccups that we had along the way that makes those victories just that much sweeter. And um, the thing that I feel that is the key to this is the traits that my mom that most resemble her, that I feel is that her discipline is unparalleled, very organized and systematic. So as far as numbers, instead of not everyone's gonna sign up with 3,600 and make your month that much better. It will happen, but not everyone. So she knows, okay, well maybe not 36, but maybe I can get 6 of 600, or maybe I can get 8 of 200. So it's breaking down the numbers to chewable amounts. And she's always done that in the beginning of the month. She's always known what the weaknesses and her strengths of our directors are. She pushes them, but she knows what the weaknesses are. So she's very systematic in that way. So the numbers, she is an accountant. That's not to say you need to know how to build bridges with math, because I'm more musically less brained, so I don't do numbers that much. So that's why we're yin and yang. This is a good dynamic here. So maybe if numbers aren't your forte, you team up with somebody and leverage your talents. If you have the talent of making great baskets, maybe team up with her, and she's great at being systemic with numbers, and you guys can leverage each other's fortes. So that's something that I feel that is hers. But her biggest trait is that she's relentless, that she knows when to let go of people. So she's relentless in pressuring people and requesting the maximum of those people. Yet, if those people show that they don't want, they can't handle the pressure, she blacklists them in a pretty severe way. She doesn't carry around with too many dead branches on her trees. She prunes a lot, and in the pruning process, she keeps maybe what might seem like a smaller tree, but it's a way more healthier tree, and she basically focuses on that. So she gives her business. It's almost, and I love when I hear her because she recruits and she's still a consultant, and that's I feel that she's never lost that. She gets excited when someone calls her and doesn't know anything about the product because she's on the front line, and now she can teach her people what she's actually doing. And it's not a general in the war who's retired 30 years ago and doesn't know what the streets are like. She likes that contact with. She likes rejection still, and I love that, and I love to see that because in the streets, no one, this is not Lupita. In the streets, it's just another person. They don't know her accolades. They don't know anything about her. They don't know what she's inner circle. That doesn't mean much to a lot of people. So, but she's so relentless is a good quality, but not. She doesn't. She gives her business a status to where you're lucky that you're in her business, not the other way around. She doesn't make it to where, oh, please join us. We'll see if you're able to be in our group. We'll see if you have what it takes to be in our family, in our circle, if you have the qualities. So she sets the bar high and gives her business that. Yeah, so she always says that's one of her things. The people that want to work, it's not hard to make them work. And the people that don't want to work, it's impossible to push them. So it's that balance between being relentless but not being naggy and needy. And let me also the third one, and I feel is the biggest one, is the passion and the real desire and drive to actually help other women succeed and honestly better themselves. So during this pandemic, obviously we've received a lot of positive phone calls, which is crazy because you would receive a lot of people in distress, which there has been some, but more of the people have been reaping the benefits, the blessings of the hard work. They've stashed the acorns for the winter, and now these people, a lot of people like us, have places where we get to choose where do we go? You know, we have a cabin in Big Bear here, and I do the property management for that property and stuff. And we get to. I was telling my mom the other day we went to go walk. Things got a little hectic in California, so we went. It's in the woods and it's far away, and we get. And I was telling her we're walking our dogs, and I said a lot of people are losing everything, and right now we're getting to choose where we get to go, where we spend our weekends. So it's something that I don't lose sight of. So that's something. But returning back, that's something that was given to her because she does care a lot about her directors. We got a phone call from. I'll give you guys two quick examples. Of a director from us that lives in Washington. It's very cold and it snows, and she used to live in her car with her 4 children. She went through this crazy divorce. This is about 5 or 6 years ago. She was living, imagine, 4 children in her car in the snow. I mean, these things are not, they're said easily, but they're unbelievable. She just got a call last week, and it makes my skin curl still talking about it because the director called my mom, crying, her oldest son on the line, you know, saying, "Thank you, Lupita. If I hadn't followed you, I just signed my grand deed for my first house. My children all have like their own room. Though all those things are things that diamonds and inner circle trips can't give you, but that really feeds you. And when you see that your mom is actually making those changes in people's lives and the history of those people's lives forever, that's what is that's when this business doesn't become, a Fortune 500. It becomes a family where it's above that. It's beyond the dog world of corporate America, and it becomes this. The higher you get, and that's what's unbelievable. The higher these women get, the more you go into the inner circle, the less drama and the more love there is. It's almost as if the people who have the least have the most drama and are the most implicit, and it's almost the position vets itself. And once you get to the very top, it's only the cherries. And these ladies take care of each other, and it's really something special to see the circle of friends that my mom has made with this the inner circle sisters. And the Voxer sometimes is really juicy and it gets good, but they're always taking care of each other. And when they go on trips, it's something that when I wasn't able to go, I would worry, about my mom and where is she, because that was kind of what I like to do is carry her. But now when Kathy Halou and I know they're in good hands, and she's with Stacey and she's with Debbie, and she's before, and it's like this sisterhood where they've known each other and they've met each other. They have different experiences, but they've all in this together. So we've had another director, real quick, and I'll dump it over to you, Stacey, if you want to ask some questions. But the last little examples we have a girl who used to come into our meetings in a stroller, and she used to walk to our meetings, and on the way walking to our meetings, she would collect cans and put them in the back of her stroller, and that's how she would collect money to go onto the bus in order to get back home from our meeting because she didn't have all this money. Well, that lady, now, her daughter just graduated as a doctor at one of the private colleges here in California. They invited my mom. We go to all these parties and events, obviously pre-Rona, but we used to go to all these social events, and that they're calling my mom, thanking her because they have changed the direction of their lives. So that's something that that you ladies totally can do in your lives, also change the direction of your family. And I think I was speaking to Stacey about this, and on the bus on the way back from when we were traveling through Barcelona, and I said there's certain people in this life, in families, that can change, that will be the mantle speaking point for generations to come. There's going to be women whose picture is going to be up on the mantle, and your great-great-grandchildren are going to say, hey, who is that? And you get to explain to them, oh, that's great-great XYZ grandma, who, because of Mary Kay, this is one of the properties that she left that we now get to enjoy, the house of it. Those little things that totally steers your family from going this way, and you guys go, nope. You guys will be the axis that will actually go, no, we're going this way. And that's something that's super powerful, and that doesn't come in any other. I find it hard to see it in any other business where you can actually, without any blue blood or any royalty running through your blood through your veins, you can literally roll up your sleeves and change the future of your generations and be the game changer in your family. And so that's what I feel my mom has been, and she set the bar real high. But we are we're happily behind her, and we're always supporting her. And yeah, I don't know if I'll open it up to you, Stacey, if you have any questions, if you want to ask me something more specific, or but that's a couple of the little things that I can share with you, ladies.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, so here's some takeaways that I have. First of all, Lupita, I love when you're hungry, find the food, and then eat it. Like, don't just stare at it, don't just talk about it, go after the food. We love, of course, the fact that you had enough, you know what, I think respect for yourself and courageousness. When you came over here to live in that garage, you did what was necessary, but that wasn't where you stayed. And you knew even entering into that situation, you were going to stay in that situation. It's just what was going to be your answer, and this was your answer. But you didn't take the answer and then try to take it all apart to figure it out. You just went after the answer. And I think that that's always, I think oftentimes when people are wanting to just make it harder than it needs to be, we complicate it in our mind instead of just making progress. Making progress, going after it, setting the goals. And Miguel, I love how you outlined the benefits of growing up in a family that was entrepreneurial. And that entrepreneurial spirit had to do with the whole family owned the business, not just your mom's business. And that you all had a piece in it, you had a part of it, you had a contribution to it. The other thing that I love so dramatically is that in the Hispanic community, there is not a question about the value of work. And sometimes I have this little issue with the word hard, simply because, and I just heard Simon Sinek the other day, and it kind of like cleared it up for me, because he said, working for something that you don't believe in or that there's no passion in is hard. Mm-hmm. Yes. Working for something that you believe in, that you're contributing to, that you're making an impact and you're making a difference is passion. That is not hard. It requires deep dedication. And so if we're going to label it as that hard work, but that hard work is not necessarily hard to do when passion is infiltrating it, because we know that we're making a difference. And the Hispanic community does not question the fact that when you're working at something, you're making a contribution for the sake of other people, because you are so family oriented. You're doing this for your women to be an example for those women, to understand that they could do it too, and provide them with tools in their hands to do that. And what I've always loved, Miguel, that you've brought to the table is that families will not pursue making $1 million until somebody in the family does it.
Yeah.
And mom was the person who did it, so that you know that you can do it too. Because not only working with your mom, but you also have your own business. You're an entrepreneur. Your brother is an entrepreneur. You're highly successful in the other things that you have your hand in, and the other things that you do, because you always knew that you could and that you would, and that you were shown a formula for success. And that success was the dedication to it, but also just not questioning, just like go after it, believe the results are going to be there. And if for some reason you're in Mary Kay, that's just a fact. If you do it, the results are going to be there. It's a fact. But the belief is really the answer there, because if women put forth the effort and they don't believe that the results are there, that's where they trip up at it. So let's stop questioning the results, right? And then let's stop allowing, whether it's family or other people, to paint a picture that our deep dedication and the hours that we put in and that we carve out the time for it is not okay. Because nothing changes in our lives unless we go after it, we carve out the time, and we're highly dedicated to it.
Yeah.
That's the greatest valuable thing we can show our children. So thanks, Miguel. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, if that's something that I just forgot to mention, that the sacrifices are real. You are going to have to, with your family, you are going to have to spend that's a big part of us is not being. You know what? I wrote that down, but I forgot to explain it to you guys. Not being so sensitive. Stop being so sensitive in between your family members. You need to build an emotional callus within each other when you call each other out when the person is not doing the thing. So that's one of the big um, challenges with like a person in your family. You need to celebrate maybe the kid's birthday when it's convenient, not maybe when it's his kid's birthday. The kid's 2 years old; he's not going to realize it's not the day of. My mom, we've sacrificed a lot of time and things when it's your birthday on Wednesday, but we have some things to do. When do you want to celebrate? Okay, well, maybe we can pencil it in on Friday. Okay, but it's not the day of. You'll get over it. It'll be fine. So, well, we have an event that day. Saturday is your birthday, but we have a seminar that day. Okay, well, let's go to seminar, and then after, 2 days later, we'll go on vacation somewhere. Okay, perfect. So it's like you have to, and maybe we're not in a lot of family gatherings because my family does. Certain family members now don't have the benefits that we're having. So a lot of those things, it's not like you're gonna have to separate family, but the God, family, and business. A lot of people take that to their benefit and misconstrue that. But that's not necessarily how it is. You do have to give your business the respect it needs, and your family needs to know that the business is what is carrying the rest. Because you can't just hug your family. So that is something that I wanted to just throw in there. You will have to sacrifice a couple of important events and kind of suck it up and handle your business side of your compromises and your schedule, and then the family might have to kind of come in. But yeah, there is a lot of things that you eat when you can, not when you're hungry. Sometimes,
I one of my sister when she came in one of the times and she was with me and I put on my card what I need to do that day and she told me, hey, you don't put the time for go to get dinner, get food, and I tell because I get food when I have time, not when I have hunger. So in this year. I need to take food when I have time, not when I have hunger. So
yeah, because a lot of the times my mom tells her directors, and that's a quick little. I'll give you back to Mike quickly, but she says that a lot. How many hours did you work? And then her directors will be like 6. Okay, 6. But you drove an hour. You met up with another director to go, prospect. You guys had lunch, so that's another hour, and then you drove back another hour, so that's 3 hours that you spent on the. So you actually only worked 3 hours, but you sat down for dinner. So it's like, don't go out to eat. My mom it's a clear goal. It's not girlfriend time. When she was out, it's work time, and come back to your family time. So it's a little cutthroat. She's very okay. This is the time I have. Respect my time. I'm not gonna waste yours either because you have a family, and so it's very goal driven. It's very let's cut the extra fat, and it's very down to the bone kind of stuff.
Exactly. Don't lie to yourself.
Yeah, don't lie to yourself. So it's being strict to yourself and not lying to yourself, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just want to say that there is a lot of sacrifice element to it, but it'll be worth it in the end.
Yeah, or you change how you look at it. It's not a sacrifice. It's just it's absolutely what. When I taught school, I was there for 40 hours, and when I came home, I graded papers and did bulletin boards at night. So I put, I was away. So it is how sometimes there's it's hard. We make it harder on ourselves because we don't have the structure of a job that we go to that everybody in the entire world would understand. If we were a nurse and we had to work at these hours, we would have to work these hours, and there would be. So we have to create our own respect for what we do versus waiting for the world's respect. It's not. The world respects the fact that we're dedicated and disciplined and that we have the rewards. And then what we do makes a difference into the world. What we do makes an impact. So it's back to the story of Mary Kay Ash when she was, her son was sitting on the curb when I think when Richard tells the story sitting on the curb and the little boy came and stepped down beside him. Why are you sitting out here? Well, my mom's at another party, right?
Yeah, I love that.
All neighbors thought all she did was go to parties. And they looked at her strange and they didn't always treat her nice. But do you remember who those neighbors are now? it is understanding where the respect needs to go as to what our future looks like, and to not make decisions based on our feelings, to make decisions based on our future.
Yeah.
And moving forward, and so I learned that lesson from you, Lupita, over and over and over again. Anytime we get to a place that we want to make an excuse about anything, Lupita always reminds us that there's somebody somewhere that's doing it anyway. and she does it in her sassy, beautiful, fabulous Lupita way. And that always makes us laugh, and then it brings us back around to knowing that we are the ones who are the captains of our own ship, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, Miguel, the benefit of you is knowing that when you talk to me both times when I videoed on my phone and I passed it back on to the directors once again, at the restaurant, it was talking about the fact that you knew that your mom was different than all the other kids on the block because of how she looked and how she acted and what she said, the words that came out of her mouth, and the environment in which she lived, which was physical, but in addition to that, it was absolutely spirit of the environment that she created for you because of her positivity, because of not talking badly about other people, because of, you just kind of choose that atmosphere. And then, of course, you talked about how she looked and how she acted and who she was and how proud you were of that. So it was all the things that I got to hear from you that were just such a gift those few days that I take to, but it's always a gift the time that we spend together. And you took a video of Brian and I dancing, and I forgot about that video until I was watching you, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, we're going to do a video off of there.
Yeah, we've had some unbelievable moments that in a way that you can't even dream of, being picked up in royal palaces that they're not even rentable if you have endless money.
It's about the last day when we take the car to go to the airport when Gloria Mayfield and then we got pictures.
Oh yeah, it's just like the very end of our trip in Monaco, because the hotel that we're at, the hotel is literally the most exclusive hotel de Paris, and so we're coming out of the hotel and Mary Kay, they rent these high-end cars. We're talking $1 million cars, and they grab these drivers and they're gonna pick us up, and they're doing it. Obviously, Mary Kay does everything in order, also. So they went through the rank of the inner circle, and obviously Gloria is the last one. Yeah, no, Gloria was the first one, so it went in reverse. But she came, and when they picked her up, the people are already so starstruck that are there on vacation, and they're taking pictures of everyone, and this big, massive group of people started gathering to the entrance of the hotel, because who are these people leaving? And then so she goes, and Gloria looks like a celebrity all the time, and she's just waving to everybody. And the lady's like, "Who is that?" And I said, "Oh, that's one of Oprah's sisters." And she runs, and she's like, "Wait, who is that?" And then she asks, she's like, "Oh, what company are you guys from?" And they're famous actresses. Really? I think I've seen her. So I was just playing with her mind because I wanted to see what they. And at the very end, obviously, I gave credit, but I'm like, "No, these are Mary Kay, the creme de la creme and Mary Kay." So she's like, "I can't believe this whole treatment. And people are taking pictures and acting like celebrities. We're playing the part." I'm like, "Mom, just roll the window halfway down. That's what important people like you do. I'm not sure. Let's just try that." So you get to play the part as them for a little bit, but it's totally these moments of pinch yourself and realize that those little rekindling your love and your passion for Mary Kay is totally worth it when these moments come,
And everything happens when you sell and when you share the opportunity. All those things, that's what everybody needs to do. Sell and share the opportunity. That's the only thing. What's the mistake? What's the problem? I couldn't find it.
Oh, well, you guys, this will go down to history of being one of our favorite Zooms that we've had.
Thank you for inviting me. And I don't know if you understand me, but I do with my, with my heart.
Oh, we understood you.
Okay.
We understood every single word you said, Lupita. And we felt your heart, and we felt your spirit. And Miguel, I think you need to put your smile right up there really close so we can see your gorgeous. You have the most.
Yeah, I know.
And so, do you have a special girlfriend right now?
No girlfriend, no.
We're finding a daughter somewhere.
Yeah, about 6 foot, 150 on the.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, right now I've got a lot of projects and stuff, and so yeah, luckily right now I've kept the clean slate.
A good catch. And Lupita wants grandchildren, so.
Yes.
Yeah,
I only have 2 dogs.
yeah. Right now we've got 2 Dobermans, but we're yeah that is a goal, but it's a future goal. I've got some plans in mind that I need to make sure that when I root properly, and it's not just not because it's a personal decision. I want to have this Mary Kay also has trickled down into other aspects that you were saying. My brother has his own business. I have my own business. So it definitely has helped shape and shift the direction that we're all going in a positive way. But I do know that is another step. That is the next phase, and I am ready for that phase. But I'm just it's hard to find women who speak this language. This this language of Mary Kay that we talk is another is people out on the outside might see us as crazy, but until you give in to that craziness, you'll understand what this is and how our pink world, is totally different from the regular world that tells you things aren't possible and stuff like that. So that vocabulary, I'm looking for someone that has that same vocabulary and that has that same thing. So it'll get there, but I'm not conforming. So.
Lowering your standard of the bar. So, in the movie Joe Black, Anthony Hopkins says that you will be so in love, it will be like a whirling dervish. So, I believe that there's a woman who is going to find you, or you're going to find her, and you will know, bam, it'll be like a whirling dervish. And that's exactly what will happen.
If he was a good husband, I know, but he was very good husband and very good dad when he had, her kids.
Yes, he will.
Sure.
So we will let you guys go because I do have a couple questions for the directors, but we are so grateful.
Awesome. Thank you.
Love you both tremendously.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Okay, happy Christmas, okay?
Yes, have a good one. Stay safe, and thank you for letting us drop some love for you guys.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Stacy. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Ladies, so really quick, I just wanted to remind you that 5 parties by the 15th is, yeah.